Good morning and or afternoon, everybody, depending on what time you are watching this. Um, Koltin and myself have committed this year to being a little bit more open and sharing with everybody some updates on how the company is doing throughout the year, where we're at with some of our goals and aspirations. And as we just had our long-term strategy update yesterday or a couple days ago, we want to take the time to update you guys all on some of the stuff that came out of that. So I appreciate you all taking the time to watch. We will try and keep this very, very quick. I do want to start off with a principle. Our principle currently is set and ask for clear expectations. However, we wanted to just kind of choose one that we thought maybe applied to what we're trying to do here. So we're just going to look specifically at number 19, which is communicate to be understood. Write and speak in a way they can understand using clear and concise language. The simplest possible explanation is the best explanation. Know your audience. Not everyone can speak industry talk. We just want to take the time to be as concise and clear as we can be, just to give you guys an update on where we're at for the year. Everyone's been working extremely hard, putting their best foot forward and a ton of effort into getting us to where we're at this year. And we're having another really good year. And so we just want to thank all of you and just let you guys all know where we're at. So, excuse me. So we had our long-term strategy update earlier this week, and all of the specific groups took the time to update the other members of the long-term strategy with where we're at. And if you remember earlier in the year, we sent out an email kind of outlining what our goals were for this year, things that we wanted to work on specifically throughout the year. And I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of where we're at and keep it as concise as possible. So the business development group, which is focused on, surprise, surprise, developing new business, has made a lot of headway this year. One of their main goals was picking up business and continuing to make headway at our 2 new branches, and specifically what we call Inland Northwest, which is east of the mountains in Washington, going forward. And bringing on the Spokane branch in that market is a great driver of business and only a way for us to help what we already had going on there. We've been picking up new orders, making a ton of contacts. We're kind of at that point now where, as Doug and Tim put it, we're no longer going in and introducing ourselves to our customers. Our customers know us. We're going in and being able to have some more meaningful conversations with what we can do and what we can bring to the table. And we've made a lot of headway even just over the last couple of weeks, and it looks like it's going really well there. The other thing that they've been working on tirelessly, sometimes driving them nuts, is our CRM. Our CRM is going to allow us to track our customer interactions across the entire company and integrate that with between our inside sales guys, our outside sales guys, and our management, just so that we can tell exactly who we should be calling on, any new quotes we've done, things we need to follow up on, etc. It's been quite frustrating, to say the least. We've had to redo the dashboard and reconfigure it a number of times, and we think we finally got that to the point where we're looking at trying to roll that out to most of our outside guys. We've had most of our managers and a lot of our outside guys already playing around with it up to this point, so they can give us our feedback and really tell us the things we need to change and work on to get that where it needs to be. The operations group has also been working tirelessly, and many of you have seen firsthand a lot of the things that they've been doing, specifically our inventory accuracy that we've been focusing on, our branch consistency that we've been focusing on, and the technology. You guys have all seen emails from Lisa asking about weights. It's on the inventory side. What you may not see unless you're specifically in the warehouse or doing inventory is all of the updates on the cycle counts and where we're at this year. For the first time in a long time, I'm happy to report that almost every single one of our branches is on track to complete their cycle counts and the way that they're supposed to be. And it's Thanks to Lisa and all of the inventory groups and the people doing cycle counting and following up at all of the branches. So everybody, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate that. It's extremely important, not just for us, but for our customers as well. On the branch consistency side, you guys have all gotten emails from many of us asking to get on the same page and do things the way that we're asking them to be done in all the branches. We want to be able to potentially send help to a branch or transfer people from one branch to another if needed, and have everybody on the same page. It just allows us to all be where we need to know exactly what we need to do at any given point in time. One of the things that's helped lead us to that is, as we're getting ready to roll out on the technology side, the signature capture, we're doing process and people position audits just to make sure that everybody's in a good spot for when we want to roll that out. And it's telling us the things we need to work on in the meantime. And the DC group and others throughout the company have taken the time to go to other branches, come to the DC and receive training, and it's going a long way. We've also had warehouse manager meetings that happen on a regular basis, and that's helping a ton with just everybody getting to know each other, feeling comfortable asking questions amongst the group, rather than just taking a shot in the dark and hoping that it works. The technology, like I said, you've all seen and heard about signature capture. We've got 5 branches that it's been rolled out for right now, and we're hoping and planning on doing the rest of the branches by the end of the year. For the culture group, the new principal rewards has kind of been rolled out. You've seen that there's been nominations. People get chosen as representing that principal, and their name gets entered into a raffle for us to choose at the end of the year amongst all those people, out of a hat for someone to win, a prize. The employee life cycle is something that's been very important. We're focusing a lot on training. It's the very beginning stages, and it's a very big undertaking, but you may have heard of us talk what we call PSP Wiki, which is, in many cases, the Blue Volt project or platform. And we've been uploading a ton of new training there. A lot of it is process training, so that if somebody starts a new role or it's their first day at PSP, they can go through, and all of the procedures are there for them to look at, and then for them to go back and look at a later time if they have any questions. We're rolling more and more of those out. We thank everyone who spent time writing those and getting those to HR so those can be implemented. We're looking at doing additional management training and other trainings going forward. So keep an eye out for that. The other thing is that at some point we're looking at tying completion of those trainings into our reviews. We also have been working on employee engagement. One of the big things we did was an employee engagement survey. We got the results back, and we wanted to update everybody on what we heard and what our plan is to attack some of the items that came up more than once with concerns or suggestions from people. So Colton's going to go ahead and go through the survey results and just kind of update you all on where we're at with that.
Yeah, so first off, we want to thank everybody that participated in the survey that was sent out. We had 68% participation rate, which is the highest that we've ever had for a survey. It does still leave 30% of you that can participate in future surveys, so we can get that up even higher as we strive to make things better here at Puget for all of you and all of us who call this place home 5 days a week. We really need the feedback from these surveys in order to know what's most important to you guys for us to focus on as a long-term strategy group in order to make those improvements. Overall, the engagement, which is employees who answered favorably to the survey, was at 82%. And we had several comments come in that were related to review. So that's one of the big things that we wanted to focus on moving forward. In relation to reviews, we do know that our goal as a company is to give a formal review to all employees on an annual basis. And we know that we are falling short currently of meeting that goal. HR is going to be sending out to all the managers the list of reviews that have not taken place and are past due. And now upper management is going to also be taking into account the completion percentage of reviews that managers have completed for anybody reporting to them when we do the reviews for the managers. So that isn't something that was necessarily taken into account before, but is something that we will be taking into account moving forward. The other thing that we're going to be doing in order to give all of the employees some ability to provide some feedback anonymously about their manager's style, what more they could get from them, and what their managers are doing well. We are going to be sending out surveys to all of you that we would ask you guys to fill out. We will take that information, which will be anonymous, and we will use that, in our review of the managers in order to work with them and get them better. But the other thing is the management training that Matt was talking about earlier. In order for us to really target that management training on the areas that are most needed, that feedback is really critical and important. So we will take that feedback and then work with our advisor on the long-term strategy side, Gary Plain, to really create custom management training that is going to help address the majority of those issues that we hear are going on in those surveys. The other thing is the new survey tool through Paylocity that we're using allows us to track responses year over year or semi-annual over semi-annual. So we can see if responses are trending in the correct direction. If we ask the same question every 6 months or every year, the reason why we're asking that question over and over again is just to see how people's responses overall are trending, to know if the culture group and if the long-term strategy group is making the right decisions and if we're moving in the right direction as a company. The other thing that we wanted to talk about is company communication. That came up a lot as well. It's one of the reasons that we're doing this video, and that Matt and myself are going to strive to do these videos at least twice a year and get emails out on a more regular basis as well about what's going on with the company, where we're going, what the future looks like, and what we're working on. The other thing that we want to make sure that we communicate is that we are really thankful for all of the ideas that come in from every employee. Some of the best ideas that we have as a company and new directions that we go come from an employee who's brought them up to their manager and they've been passed up and eventually get implemented. We do also know that a lot of those ideas might not get implemented because there may be a reason that you might not be able to see that, 2 steps down the line, it might screw something up. A good example would be an idea that a salesperson has or somebody in purchasing has that might screw up somebody on the accounting side. And so we want to do better in the future of making sure that you guys understand why we make the decisions that we make and why we implement the ideas that you bring to us that we do, but also why we don't implement the ones that you bring to us as well. Our goal is to get everybody in the company doing things the same way. As Matt talked about earlier, the operations group is really focused on consistency. And so a lot of those ideas are brought to the table. And while they may work at one branch, they may not work overall for the company as a whole. And so it's something that we're really focused on is the consistency of the customer experience and the employee experience here at PSP. That's the results from the survey. We also wanted to take a second and just kind of go over quickly how the company is doing as a whole. Things are going well. Commercial business, which had been busy in the past, is slow. We're all feeling it, but the industrial side has really taken off over the last 6 months. We are looking forward to some really large projects that are taking place now and will continue to take place for the foreseeable future. That includes the Willow project up in Alaska, the Pika project in Alaska, the battery plants that are taking place in the lower 48, and the Group 14 project as well, which is another battery plant that's going on in Moses Lake. But we see the industrial sector continuing to be strong for the next 5 or 6 years and hope that commercial will come back towards the end of that. We also see the energy sector really getting strong with a lot of people and companies pushing forward on the nuclear side. And we think that that will be a big part of the future moving forward as well. I do want to congratulate the quality department on passing their latest nuclear audit that took place last week. So yeah, all in all, things are going great. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and keep up the good work, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. We really appreciate everything you guys do, and really appreciate you guys filling out the survey for those of you who did. It was extremely anonymous, sometimes to the point that it drove me nuts that I wanted to dig into things a little farther and couldn't. And please keep that in mind that as we do these things are totally 100% completely anonymous. The more people that participate, the better. If we only get a few people that participate, sometimes answers one way or the other skew what's really going on. If you only have 3 people answer and 3 people answer things are okay but not great, and one person answers things are horrible, it looks like things are horrible. So, and vice versa. If everyone says it's okay and one person says it's phenomenal, it looks like everything's phenomenal. So please take the time to fill out these surveys. It's your chance to have your voice heard, and to speak your mind as much as possible. Keep in mind, if you ever have anything to say that you want to say it when we're not doing a survey, you can always contact HR. They're more than happy to field those calls and pass anything on to us that needs to be passed on. So once again, thank you everybody for your tireless hard work. Hope you're all enjoying the summer and the nice weather